she's going to talk about the Teorema de Makkai, una travesía a través del Teorema de
Makkai is one of Makkai is thanks for the invitation. And I'm going to talk about basically the history of my PhD. It's so large. So I want to talk about first of in the beginning, in the real beginning. Gabriel and Ulmer, they have I haven't time for translate my slides, so it's going to be a little hard for me. But we have filtered categories, which we can think it as a categorification of a direct set. And the filtered categories that are these categories in which you can represent an object as a filtered colimit of another finite object, right? And our notion of finite is like when we have a finite set. We have this representation of finiteness by a condition on the representable functor, and in the same set, in the same sense, we have an object in a category. We would say that it's finitely presented if the representable preserves these filtered colimits. So we have not all categories have finitely presented objects, but we can take the subcategory of the finitely presented objects, and we say that a category is locally finitely presentable if it has small colimits and its category of finitely presented objects is small, and the condition that every object is a finite colimit of finitely presented objects. Just like when we have a set, every set is a colimit or a union, and disjoint union of its finite sets. So the locally finitely presentable categories are trying to copy this finitely representation of an object. So we have this notation that is we're going to say that a category is lex if it has finite limits and its functors preserves it. And we call LFC the two category of categories with finitely presentable, finitely filtered colimits. Sorry, and well, this is notation just for saying that Gabriel Ulmer's duality says that there is a adjunction between the category of categories with finite limits and the category of categories with filtered colimits. But in this diagram, we are talking about the whole two category, and here with minúsculas, with lex minúsculas. We are talking about the small subcategory of this category, and this is the small subcategory of this category. So these adjunctions restricts to an equivalence between these two categories, Well, this is a representation of Makkai bits, like a lot of years later than Gabriel Ulmer's duality. And some implications are that we have the unit and the co-unit, and is because well, unit and co-unit are equivalences. So Makkai copied that, well, try to encode the theory of coherent, well, all the theory of the language of a theory, of a coherent theory as a protopos, and he wanted to give this category of protopos a structure when where these equivalents encode all the theory of the theory of the language, but in the other side of the equivalences. So, well, Makkai, for every coherent theory, he gives a small protopos, and then he made these ultra categories, which encode all the language and the theory in the models of the protopos. So, this equivalence is just like one of the parts of the Gabriel Ulmer, but Makkai hasn't the second equivalence. Instead, but the main importance of this theorem is that we can recover the theory through the modeling of the protopos of the theory. So this is a not important problem in which the question is when we can recover the theory from its models its models of the theory. So this is a first term. Well, in other contexts we have the completeness Gödel theorem, which says that a sentence in first order is probable if and only if it is true in every model of T. So it's kind of the same thing. So for recover the syntaxis through the semantics, the syntaxis through the semantics. And other acception of this same problem is the Stone duality, which says that every Boolean algebra is equivalent to a Stone space. No? Stone space are those whose are Hausdorff, zero-dimensional, and compact. And so these Boolean algebras encode the theory. A Boolean algebra encode the theory of a propositional algebra, propositional logic, and the models of this theory are equivalent to the Stone spaces. Here, I put it as just in the same way of the Makkai's and Gabriel Ulmer's theorem, because we need to presentate this kind of presentation of the model of a theory. So, there is a problem in the model of a theory that models in general have no products, but they have ultra products. So we need that the structure in the side of models being compatible with the ultra products. So we remember the Bosch theorem, which says that for every ultrafilter over all the models of a theory, the ultra product functor, which for any product here takes the ultra product set, is actually a pretopus morphism. A pretopus has its own structure, and these ultra product functors preserves all the structure of a pretopus. And through this, it is possible to recover all the model of categories. The structure of pretopus in the level of shifts. And in this example, this is very, very important. Here we have the stone check compactification. And this is discrete space, discrete topological space or set. And we can think its stone check compactification as the set of all its ultrafilters over this set. And then when we go to shifts, this pretopus structure is preserved by the shift construction of the morphism. So then Lurie appears in the history. So for this part, which Lurie does was what Lurie does was think of a set. This is a set, and for encode these ultra products of ultra filters. He thinks like to the power set of S as a set, and the power set of S. This is a Boolean algebra. No me acuerdo si lo ponemos como así o al revés. Boolean algebra. Well, and then in this Boolean algebra, we can take its points. Points of this Boolean algebra. This is a P. As the onset in topological spaces of the spec of a Boolean algebra, Ps in 0 in 2 and 0 1, and this is a functor, a point functor, and then we have this. No sé. Olvidé la palabra. Well, it determines a way of send every element in S to its ultra filter generated by S. No, and then we have this subject compactification. Well, this. So if we have a function between Hausdorff spaces, we know that its stone compactification has this universal property. So for an element here, Fs, and its ultra filter generated by S is taken to the F of S. But in general, we don't have only this kind of ultra filters. We have any ultra filter. Let's say this is an ultra filter room, and still we have an f. So the pair f comma mu is taken to the f of mu. Well, Lurie has a very complicated notation for this, for the image of an ultra product. I'm not going to use it. But the thing is that this mapping is an assignation between. Sorry. Sorry. Oh, forget it. Well, he's trying to copy this same construction to the context of a family of models of a theory. We have a theory here, and if we have the family of models of this theory, MS, so we are trying to make compatible all the ultra product construction in these models with taking every ultra filter, right? So in this context, if we have not just a set but a family of models, this morphism. So we have the ultra product, and this is a set, and we think this is an ultra filter in S. This is Lurie's notation, right? F of S for every S, and he thinks this ultra product construction as a measure of this function in this over this ultra product. So he is trying to copy this construction to the general case, in which we have these models of a coherent theory. Well, a coherent theory we are going to think it as a pretopos, the model of a pretopos, and the ultra product construction what else is taking this this ultra functor into just mod P. Yes, and what he does here is, given, well, this is also Makkai's construction. He gives here an ultra structure construction, which is conditions of compatibility with the ultra functor sets, the ultra functor products, ultra functor functors. Sorry. He gives an ultra structure, and he well, Makkai. This is Makkai's construction, but the problem here is that given two models of, well, given two ultra structures, say M and N are ultra structures, then the functor should have this compatibility with the ultra product morphism. So what does Makkai is taking name these functors ultra functors with a lot of conditions over the ultra product construction, But the difference is that Lurie is thinking in not just the ultrafunctor, but he gives a two-side construction of ultrastructures of the functor, and he thinks in not just in one an ultrafunctor, but in some kind of ultrafunctor left and ultrafunctor right. No, in the same direction. Sorry. We said to this ultrafunctor he gives a left structure and a right structure, and this generalization of the ultrafunctor construction of Makkai gives him the possibility of have the other direction of the duality. So he does he made this or he made this construction. So if in Makkai we have these ultrafunctors over two ultrastructures, M and N. And which Lurie does is that these things act as a subcategory of the, say, left ultrastructure of this left ultrafunctor over these ultrastructures. And what we have in Makkai's theorem is that in Makkai's theorem we have the ultrafunctors between let's say between a pretopos and the category of sets, and Lurie does this equivalence. The image of this embedding is here it is. Just the image of this construction is some which Lurie named log x. It's not precisely like the local structure of a topological space, but it's like the category of all universal coverings of X with finite fibrils. So this this is not equal, this is not these constructions allows Lurie to make the other direction of the Makkai's theorem. And in the 90s, Marmolejo does this this definition, made this definition of an ultramorphism between topological space, a morphism between topological spaces are ultra-finite if it preserves in the level of shifts the pretopos structure that we have in the classical stone-shape compactification. So Marmolejo is trying to generalize this idea of preserving all the ultra-product constructions. And later in 2005, Merino and Marmolejo made this same characterization of this kind of morphisms, but not in topological spaces, but in locals. And we made a characterization of a functor of a side morphism, which also preserves this pre-topos structure in the level of sheaves. And well, we have for a side morphism this its correspondent morphism between its topos of sheaves. And well, we made a characterization in which this functor preserves all the pre-topos structure, and I don't know. The thing I want to say here is that this characterization of this construction of the left ultra functors of Luris arises from the perspective of vibrant sets of vibrant morphisms in any topological spaces. So I will try to take this characterization of an ultra-finite morphism between sites in the sense of this kind of idea, right? I mean, if we have a site, and what is doing Luri here is consider another site. Well, it's an important site. I don't remember how he named it, but is the well, he has it. And he is trying to, well, what Luri does is take this side of another side and think it as the universal, la cubierta
universal cover.
Universal cover. In this context, he thinks in the universal cover, and here he made a site through this, and think this as a vibrant with finite with vibrant fibers. Yes. And well, I think that our characterization of morphisms of sites satisfies this construction here. So this is my challenge. Yeah. And well, this is it. And yeah, that's it. I forgot to put Luri's paper here because it appears just last month or something. Here we have it. And thank you.
Any questions for speaker?
I have a question. So you have, does this Luri's construction gives an explanation of this horrible Makkai's ultramorphisms for this structure of ultra categories?
No, he forced the ultra functors of Makkai's through its two left and right ultra functors construction, and this structure is it's a strong condition of the commutative squares of Makkai's in this construction. So what Luri asked for the compatibility is like certain isomorphism satisfies which satisfies that here. But no, I don't understand yet how he encodes all the Makkai construction. But what I can say is that here in the case of these topological spaces, what he does is take the is taking the left ultrafunctors. Yeah. Here he has x, and he has its left ultrafunctors of well, if we have shapes here, he has models of well, if we have a site. Thanks. We'll think of a category. So I think that in this context, in our context, we can have all more or less the same idea here, copying his left ultrafunctors between these things. So there are conditions, there are two conditions, families of isomorphisms between the image of the ultra product constructions and the ultra product of the image. Yeah, there are some complicated characters, complicated conditions.
So your conjecture is that thing is
That we can make
ultra-finite, or?
no, that our ultra-finite morphisms between well, we think here shapes and set. My conjecture is that our characterization of ultra-finite here may satisfy the left ultrafunctor conditions. Yeah. Well, that's
More questions? If not, we think again.